Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action, this heat, you're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this morning's video, if you will. You know, I was sitting here and I was scrolling through all the comments, the beautiful, lovely, supportive comments that you all so often leave, and I would just like to personally say thank you. You know, I read every comment, and I answer as many comments as I possibly can. At this point, I can pretty much answer all of the comments and respond, but I know that there's gonna come a time to where there's just no possible way that I'll be able to respond to every comment. So I'll jump on the lives and, you know, just basically just let you all know that I appreciate you. You know, you're nothing without your viewers. You know, the people that's following you, you're nothing. You know, I'm a small channel. I've only had my channel for about 5.5 months. So I'm still in the beginning stages. But I tell you what, man, I read some of those comments, man, and I'm just tickled to death. You know, because to have people support you that don't really know you that well, you know, it's truly a blessing, you know. So I like to say thank you. First off, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Now, as I mentioned, I was scrolling through the comments, responding to the comments, if you will. And I seen a couple comments that made me jump. I had no intentions on jumping back on here making a video. None. Not tonight. I told a story a couple days ago, and it was about a female correction officer. And there were two guys arguing in the dorm, in their unit. Now, when she seen the guys arguing, okay, the county jail, let me paint a picture for you, as I so often do. The county jail, everything is see-through. So I don't know if you all remember the show Oz. It was a long time ago when Oz was on. But basically, it was a prison show. And when they were in prison, everything was see-through. Everything was glass. So when you're in the cells, it's glass. You can look directly into the cell. Excuse me. Sorry about that, you all. I don't mean to be yawning, but it's been a long day. I've been at work all day. But hey, the grind don't stop. So everything is, you know, glass. Well, this particular situation, two guys were arguing. There's an intercom. So she's sitting in the control booth. She's sitting in the control booth. The control booth is in the middle of the cell. You have 4 units upstairs that holds 10 to 12 inmates. And then you have 4 units downstairs that holds 10 to 12 inmates. So she's like in the middle. Downstairs, the control tower is in the middle of the cell. So she can look around and see, you know, every cell. She sees that the guys are arguing, so she cuts the intercom on so she can hear them. She tells them to, you know, sit down, chill out, stop arguing. Well, they're in a heated argument. They're not fighting, but they're, you know, they're jawing back and forth. So she says something to one of the inmates, and he says something back, but he doesn't say anything disrespectful or anything like that. And she was like, "You need to sit your little bitch ass down." And he was like, "What?" And she was like, "You heard me, you little bitch. Sit your bitch ass down." So you can imagine that didn't go over too well. So now, he's no longer arguing with this individual. Now his focus is on her. Like, who you calling bitch? You a bitch and your mama's a bitch, bitch. You know, it's, excuse my language, but that's what happened. Real Kids TV, I got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100. You know what I mean? But next thing you know, she hits a little panic button. They all them COs walk around with a it's like a little walkie-talkie, and they keep it right here. It's not even a walkie-talkie, it's the radio rather, and they keep it right here. There's like a I don't know, some sort of contraption to where they can, have it right here, placed strategically right here. So anytime they need some help, they hit their little red button. Signal 7. Signal 7 Unit CC. Signal 7 Unit CC. That's the unit we were in. And that's what you hear over the loudspeaker. You see them all running in there like, a building's on fire or something. They all run in. They run up the stairs. Half of them out of shape. Half of them, more than half, they tough guys because it's 10 of them. Get them in a one-on-one situation, you're going to see the humbleness come out of them. So they run in. Sergeant comes. Lieutenant comes. I believe shift command even comes. Shift command is over, they're pretty high up or whatever. Might be a captain, maybe a lieutenant, just depends. They're trying to explain their story to the, shift command. And she disrespected me. She called me out of my name. She called me a bitch. Shift command listens and he cuts him off and said, "Ho, whatever my officer says is what I'm riding with, is what I go with." "Yeah, but she called me a bitch." "It doesn't matter. This officer could spit in your face. And you are not to say nothing back to her. Change the command that you follow. You don't talk back to my officer. Get him out of here." Packed this stuff up, took him to the hole for 30 days. So I told that story, and I had some people that made some comments, and they were like, "Well, he disobeyed a direct order." See, these is weirdos. These is weirdos that like to sit around and watch prison channels. You know what I mean? Not saying that people that like to watch prison channels are weirdos. I'm saying these are weirdos that work in the prisons, in the jails, that sit around and watch prison channels and critique everything that's being said and jump on the comments, if you will, and make, ridiculous, weird statements. Well, he should have complied. All that old jail police talk. He should have complied when the officer directly ordered him to sit down. First of all, they were in a heated argument. Secondly, you don't call no grown man a bitch. You don't call a woman a bitch. You don't call anybody a bitch. You know what I mean? So when you disrespect the way that she disrespected, guess what? Prepare to be disrespected back. And your skin should be tough enough to accept that because you just disrespected. But see, my point is this. A lot of them COs are overzealous. They got that blue on. They got that little badge. It ain't even a real badge. You can't arrest nobody. They talk about, "Oh, I can arrest you on the street." Well, good luck with that. I like to see you try. Just imagine you on the street and a correction officer tries to arrest you. It's not going to go well for you. I know you have a registered Glock. I know you carry, but guess what? Everybody else damn near does too. I personally don't. I don't. If I could, I would. If I legally could, I would. Just for protection purposes only. But you're not going to just run up on somebody and think you're going to arrest somebody because you're a correction officer. So I wanted to enlighten the people because some people were chiming in and kind of, they don't really know what's going on because they've never been to jail. They've never been incarcerated. A lot of these correction officers And I'm not knocking any correction officer, because I've had some correction officers jump in my comments and agree with me, disagree with me respectfully. So I'm not talking about all correction officers. Let me make that abundantly clear. I'm not talking about all correction officers. I know some correction officers. I have friends that are, we're not friends like that, but I know some people that, probably went to school together or something, and they're correction officers. A job is a job. A job is a jizob. My thing is this. If you're going to be a correction officer, if you're going to do anything, but we're talking about being a correction officer. So if you're going to be a correction officer, man, do your job and go home. Get your money and go home, man. I'm not saying break any rules, bend any rules. I'm not saying jeopardize your job. But I am saying don't try to make an individual's life harder than what it already is. Pause. You're already locked up. You're already away from your family, your loved ones, your kids, your friends, being talked to like a dog, being treated semi like an animal. Why would you want to try to make somebody's life even harder? Yeah, you broke the rules, you break the law, so you pay the consequences. I get it. Jail's not supposed to be fun. I get all of that. But it doesn't give you a right to disrespect somebody. If you're not going to say this, if you're not going to call that man a bitch on the streets, then why would you call him a bitch in jail? Because you got that badge and you got that blue uniform on. Truth be told, it doesn't take much to be a correction officer. You don't even have to have a high school diploma. If you have a GED, you qualify, and there's nothing wrong with a GED. So real Kens, I ain't saying, anything's wrong with a GED. But it's not like you have to have a college degree. It's not like you have to go to some hellified training. You know what I mean? To be a correction officer, you have to have a GED. You can have all the misdemeanors in the world as long as you don't have a felony. That's it. They put you through a so-called academy and throw you out there to the wolves on the floor. So when they do that, it's like they all back each other. And so the bad ones, they realize, man, if I'm having a bad day, it's the perfect place to work at. Because I can come in here and just cuss everybody out. I can come in here and just do what I want to do. I can just be nasty. Say I'm a female and I don't like men right now. So I'm gonna just be nasty to the men right now. Now I'm not saying all women do that. I'm just using that as an example. I can't use that as an example as far as the men working with the women, because they typically will keep the male officers away from the women where I'm from. Sometimes you have a male officer that'll work in the woman's unit. But typically it's going to be a woman that works in even in a male unit, typically it's going to be a man, but they'll put the nasty women in there sometimes. So just imagine you having a bad day and you come in and they're getting on your nerves. Everybody, get back to your cell, lock down. Somebody say something, because there's always going to be somebody that says something. Shut up, bitch. That's just, again, excuse my language, but that's just what jail is. But you got 100 people in there. Oh, nobody's going to say who said it? Okay. I'm going to give y'all 5 minutes. Who said it? Well, nobody's going to come forward and say, yeah, I said it. All right. TV's gone. If you have the privilege of having a microwave, gone. Phones, gone. And you keep on visits, gone. That's how much power they give these COs. These COs ain't never had no power. Probably was working at motherfucking Speedway or somewhere before they, got hired on at the detention center. They ain't never had no power. But now you give them a job making $18, $19 an hour. And you tell them, listen, we going to ride with you, so whatever you say goes. So they come in there and they feel like, it's no holds barred. We do what we want to do. Say what we want to say. Treat you how we want to treat you. So people want to jump in the comments and say, well, don't go to jail. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Don't go to jail. However, if you do find yourself in jail, man, don't disrespect just because you think you can. Because let me tell you something. Let me share something with you. Come closer. Come closer. Let me share something. You're only in jail for so long. You're only in jail for so long. Then what? This same CO that's in the same community you're in, you're going to see the CO at Walmart. You're going to see the CO at the gas station. You're going to see this CO. Heck, I've been door dashing and knocked on people's door, ring the doorbell, the little ring doorbell, and they come to the door and it's a CO, a sergeant. I just made a video last night about that. You never know when you're going to run into an individual that you mistreated, that you talk crazy to, that you called a bitch, that you took their visitation privileges away for no reason. So you get these goofballs that jump in the comments and say, oh, well, no, the inmate had to have done something. It's not true. It's not always true. Sometimes it's true, but oftentimes it's not true. See, locking people up is a business. Keeping people in jail is a business. You don't believe me? Look up private prisons. Why would you have private prisons if it's not a business? That's why I hate when judges say, I don't want to see you in my courtroom again. If I see you, no, you want to see me. If you don't see me in your courtroom again, how you going to have a job? If everybody never comes back to court, never commits a crime, how you going to have a job? Nobody's going to be in your courtroom. So I hate when judges say that because you're just outright lying. Clearly lying. So people feel like that's never been to jail. Well, that's the reason that you're in jail, because you have no respect for authority. A CO, they have authority over you, I guess, because you're locked up. But they don't have authority to just be talking all crazy and cussing you out. I don't care if you're locked up or not. Because you got some guys, man, I've told stories. Check it out. Check it out on my channel. Some guys, man, that they don't care nothing about you having that badge and having that blue uniform on. They will split your wig. Don't advocate violence whatsoever. But some people are just not going to be disrespected. Not those COs, they think it's a game. They give each other high fives and when they disrespect the inmate or when they take an inmate to the hole for no reason. No reason. Just simply because they can. They've never had power in their life. They go home, they wives probably run them. Make them do all type of house chores and cut the grass and wash the dishes and get up on the roof. And there's nothing wrong with those things. There's nothing. But I'm saying they're used to being ran. And let me stress that. There's nothing wrong with doing things around the house. There's nothing wrong when your wife asks you, honey, can you fix the fence? But no, that's not how she's telling him. And then I need you to do this. And then you're going to go and do this. So he's being ran. He's not being respected at home. So guess what? And vice versa. Vice versa. Perhaps she's not being respected at home because you have women, officers as well. Or perhaps it's not even a home thing. Perhaps they was just picked on when they were in school. Unpopular. You don't have to be popular. But I'm saying you don't have a date. You never got a date. It doesn't make you a bad person. So anybody watching this, I'm not saying that if any of those things happen to you or you fall into that category when you were in school or what, it doesn't make you a bad person. What makes you a bad person is when you take those things out on other people just because you feel like you can. See, what people don't realize is, especially when you get to prison, we live here. We allow you to go home. Understand that. And when I say we, I'm just, figuratively speaking as far as like inmates. Inmates allow you to go home. If I decide you're not going to go home to your family, guess what? You're not going home to your family. So don't come in here and get beside yourself. It gets real in the pen. In the county jail, you might get away with certain things. In certain penitentiaries, you might get away. But in certain penitentiaries, you're not. You better go check out Fleece Johnson. Hustler Spirit 502. Fleece Johnson, Hustler Spirit 502 out of Louisville, Kentucky. Go check him out. He tells a whole lot of real prison stories. Maximum Security, Eddyville, Kentucky. Look it up. Eddyville, State Penitentiary, where death row's at. Now, Eddyville's not what it once was in the 70s and 80s and 90s when Fleece Johnson was there. Tells a whole lot of real stories. So you think that you're just going to come in here, talk to me reckless, think that you can just treat me any type of way, and I'm sitting in here with a 40, 50-year sentence, a life sentence, and you get to go home to your family, and you think that you're going to come in here and talk to me like that? Is that what you think? Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. I'm sorry. I go through my Denzel sometimes, my training day, man. I don't know. I'm a movie buff. You know what I mean? So sometimes when I'm talking, just the movie comes out in me. You know what I mean? Pause. But I'm saying, if you're gonna do your job, do your job. There's no reason to be overzealous. There's no reason to be nasty. You can be firm. And I would suggest as a CO being firm, because if you don't, inmates are going to run all over you. Be firm, but be fair. Do your job. Get back home to your family. That's all I'm saying. Some of those COs come in there that I guess they got a death wish. I don't know what's wrong with them. But they think they tough. You know why? Because they get you in handcuffs, because it's about 10 of them. And they rough you up, and they kick you, and they beat you. That's why you seeing so many inmates just mysteriously coming up dead in the county jail. You know why? Because these COs, they heartless. They ain't got no heart for real. They ain't gonna fight you one-on-one. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen a couple. There's a couple that's gonna get with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying COs are soft, but I'm just saying that's soft to me when it's 10 of you all, 5, 6 of you, dudes in handcuffs and in shackles, and you sitting there kicking them and beating them, and he can't even cover up. Then he dies, and it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Do you not see these cameras in every corner of the jail? So they plead out and get 2 or 3 years. Probably probation. It's sad, man. So when people fight back, then it's like, oh, well, these inmates are animals. No. Paul Harvey. There's a gentleman by the name of Paul Harvey once said, you want to see the real scum of the earth? Go to a break room during lunchtime at a prison. Paul Harvey had a close family member that had been incarcerated. Think about that. You want to see the real scum of the earth? Go to a break room at lunchtime at a prison. Not my words. What Paul Harvey said. It's corrupt, man. It's the system is corrupt. But a lot of you all don't understand that because you never been in it. So it's when you see the police, when you see the prosecutor, when you see the judge, they're the good guys to you all. The good women, the good people. And I'm not saying that a lot of them are not good people. And we need those people, and we need those individuals to be in place, but we need people with integrity. We need people that are doing the right thing. Not just out here just locking people up just to be locking people up. Why is there more people locked up in America than anywhere else? Because they will lock you up for anything. And people have that mindset of, well, you break the law, so you need to go to jail. Yeah, but do you need to go to jail for 10 years? If a person goes inside a Walmart and steals $300 or $400 worth of whatever they steal, that's not right. I'm not condoning it. But do you deserve 10 years for that? Yeah, you deserve to be punished because you shouldn't steal. But 10 years? That's what the prison systems here in Kentucky is full of. Yeah, you got your murderers, your rapists, you got your, but I'm not speaking about those individuals. I'm speaking about petty crimes. Child support. I seen a dude get his child support carries 1 to 5 years. But because he had a prior, his sentence was enhanced all the way to 14 years over child support. Not to say you shouldn't take care of your kids. I'm not saying that. But you're definitely not going to take care of your kids while you're doing 14 years. Child support. 14 years. It's ridiculous. The prison system is ridiculous. And I know I've gone all the way from talking about COs to the prison system. But it's all relatively, you know what I mean? It's all the same. It's all relative. Because it's one big corrupt system. That's just what it is. And when people see some of these COs out on the streets and they remember, think about this. I want you all to think about this. I would never suggest it. I would never do it. But think about this. You was a CO. You talk crazy to people. But you didn't even have to. You treated people terrible. You took people's recreation time. You threw people in the hole. You canceled people's visits on Christmas, on New Year's, on days that, anytime really, but, you know, on those special days. You withheld people's mail. You planted cigarettes. You planted cell phones. You try to get people caught up. Try to give people more time. Now this individual gets out 3, 4, 5 years later. They see you out with your kids. Think about the situation that you put in your family in. I don't care nothing about you having no Glock. No, you know, one person said that I was door dashing and I rang the doorbell and it was a former sergeant who was nasty, came to the door. Well, obviously, I didn't say anything to him. I gave him his food and I went on. No big deal. No, you know, I'm never going to do anything to anybody. My freedom's way too important to be worried about some bozo, man. Let karma deal with you. So they was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a registered Glock. It doesn't matter if he has a registered Glock or not. The point is, I know where the guy lives at. Somebody else. So just think, and I reiterate, there's no imminent threat, danger surrounding or in regards to myself whatsoever. I just laugh at the clown and go on. I know your life is miserable. But just imagine if somebody else knew where you lived at. Another inmate knew where you lived at, or former inmate rather. What good is that Glock gonna do you at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and, you know, a couple people that you mistreated at the jail know where you lived at? The point that I'm making is treat people well. And you don't have to even worry about that. You can sleep at night. You can, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about anything like that because you know that you've done the right thing and treated people well. That's all that I'm saying. No sort of subliminal threats, none of that. This was years ago, man. This was years ago when this happened anyway. Just treat people right, do the right thing. If you want to be a correction officer, or if you are a correction officer, again, go to work, do what you need to do, you know, get your money and go home, man. Go home to your family. Because these guys are sitting in there, and especially when you in a actual prison, excuse me, you may catch someone on the wrong day. At the wrong time. Again, Fleece Johnson, Hustler Spirit 502. He tells several stories to where, you know, he physically assaulted officers, but they did something to him first. He didn't just, you know, do it just to be doing it. It's a dangerous job. I understand that. It's a very dangerous job. But they make it a lot more dangerous when they come in there being overzealous and obnoxious. Think it's a game? You're around killers, man. Real life killers. And you think that you're just going to come in here and make my life more miserable than it already is? Because I got to be in here for the rest of my life. Yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, I put myself here. But It don't mean I want to be here. You just think you can just come in and just treat me any type of way, huh? I got something for you. I got some act right for you. That's how inmate. I'm gonna put some act right in him. That's how it is. So hopefully I've given you all a better understanding of the system, a better understanding of how it is to be incarcerated, and a better understanding of some, not all, some of these overzealous COs act. Real Kens TV, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share it. Subscribe to the channel. So anytime I bring you this action, this heat, you're amongst the first to receive it. Now, allow me to go back into the house. Well, go into the house, because I've been out here the whole time since I got off. But I want to bring you all this. You know what I mean? Salute to all the people that comment and follow Real Kens TV. Love y'all, man.